89.7 Power FM. We've got a special guest on the morning show today. Suzy from Ilia is on the phone with us, and those guys are going to be in town this weekend. They'll be at the Pavilion in Louisville with Fight the Fade and The Protest and a few others on Sunday night. We've got details on the bulletin board page at kvrk.com. How you doing, Suzy?
I'm doing great, Taylor. How are you guys?
We're pretty awesome. It's Friday.
It is.
Now, before we launch into the questions, because yesterday we ended up talking about Pizza Hut for pretty much half the show. And so we need to get your opinion on pizza. How much pizza do you guys consume when you're on tour?
Man, it really just depends on the tour. I know on the 7th Day tour, we had pizza every night after the show. So it was quite a bit. But other than that, we usually just park at Walmart overnight with our little bus. And we go inside and we get lots of frozen dinners. And we pretty much live like that.
That's awesome. Do you get sick of pizza when you're going every day like that?
Yes. Yes.
What's your favorite kind of pizza? If you get on a stretch where you haven't had it every night and you're completely sick of it.
Okay, I'm just automatically going to answer for the boys in the band and bacon. Anything with bacon, they will consume immediately. You'll be lucky to get even a shred of anything with bacon when they're around. But if I've had the same pepperoni pizza for like 5 days that week, I really like to switch it up with like mushrooms and stuff, and some people might think that's good, but I think mushrooms are delicious, and extra cheese, love the cheese.
Mushroom and black olive is like my jam for pizza.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Gotta switch it up, yeah.
So you guys kicked off a tour just last night, the Summer Jam Tour, and you're out there with Fight the Fade, The Protest, Theody, and Divided Me. Have you been on a tour with any of these guys before?
We have played a couple shows with Theody. We did play a couple days ago in Fayetteville. Okay, so that was our first show with Theody, and it went really well. And let me think, I personally have never played with Fight the Fade and The Protest. I think the band before I had joined had played with them before. But this will be my first time, so I'm really excited. I hear they're really cool dudes, and I'm excited to share the stage with them.
You have a music video that you guys have been teasing lately for the song Young Diaries. Can you tell us a little bit about the music video?
Yeah, okay, so last time Taylor and I talked, that was the little surprise I was referring to.
Okay.
Yes, so that one's finally coming out, and we actually shot this back in February. So now that we finally have it back, we are ready to launch it and release the single to radio as well. So it was such a blessing to be able to work with Justin Carey. He was the director of our video, and he really wanted to get inside of our head for the vision. And basically, he did the thing free for us. We paid for some materials and stuff, and he was so kind to do it because he really believed in the music. It's a very, very personal song to me. The song is about unforgiveness and holding unforgiveness in people of your life. Even if you have the right to hold unforgiveness, even if you have done nothing to deserve what they did to you, God still calls us to forgive. The song is really about writing a list of wrongs that people have done against you, hence the name Young Diaries. It's really about how to overcome that, and it's some really dark moments that I think I went through some situations, and it was very scary because you begin to lose who you are because you're so wrapped up in the rage and things that have happened to you that you forget that your life is not about you, it's about God. And the end of the song concludes in Jesus and how he takes his blood, and because he's able to forgive you, you're able to forgive everybody else, whether they deserve it or not, because no one deserves forgiveness from God, but he gives it freely.
And I think that's really what makes forgiveness so powerful, is that you don't deserve it. And when people talk about you don't deserve forgiveness, well, that's the whole point of it.
And, you can choose to just keep it and hold it. And we've heard this sermon so many times, and I think I started writing this song off of a sermon I heard, and it was very powerful, but I hadn't really lived it yet. I held on to this song for about 2 or 3 years, and I began to go through everything the song was describing. And it was really freaky.
That's interesting.
In the end, when we finally released it, it was like healing for me. It felt like God kind of gave it to me for me to go through all of it. And at the end, it was something that would bring me comfort and healing. So I'm very grateful for it.
That is really cool to have kind of something that you wrote actually speak into your life. And I think it's interesting. You talked about this is a song that you sat on for a couple years. And I know we talked last time about My Allegiance, which you had written several years ago. And it seems like this kind of tends to be a pattern for you where you write a song and then several years down the road it finally gets realized. Have you ever had this happen where you write a song when you're younger and then it comes time to really start working on it and you find maybe your heart has changed for it or you've kind of grown in your perspective on the subject?
Yeah, that's happened a lot, actually. I have a lot of unfinished songs that, I never got to really finish them because the passion kind of just went somewhere else or I was really preoccupied. So there's some songs where I'm like, okay, I feel like God has given this to me. This needs to be heard. And then other songs are just for a season and then they're kind of just to get me through that time. So yeah, definitely though, a lot of times when, especially with the EP that Ilia just released, I feel like every single song was meant for me to heal. I think it was really divine the way that I was able to join Ilia and have a testimony to speak about it on stage. You know when God in the Bible had characters and he gave them the word like Abraham, go do this and I will lead you from there. And that's scary, but through that journey, Abraham had such a testimony to tell that when he got there, when God finally did give him his promises, they were much better and greater than anything he could have ever imagined. So that's kind of how I feel with Ilia. I feel like I started off with these songs and, I was just kind of nobody. I was kind of trying to do music and then God gave me this journey and it was very difficult, probably one of the most difficult times in my life. And at the other end, he gave me such a testimony that I'm able to share with anybody I come in contact with. So I'm very grateful for that.
Once again, on the phone with Suzy from Ilia. What's the best way folks can get in touch with you and the band?
Go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/IliaMusic, IliaMusic.com. Our Twitter is Ilia Music. Everything is Ilia Music.
That's
and
helpful.
Our music video will be debuting on newreleasetuesday.com. So that's on the 16th. And I'm really hoping people would check it out. It's a great video, and we as a band are very proud of it.
That's awesome. Well, we will definitely be sharing the link when it's up there, so definitely looking forward to it.
Thank you so much.
All right, Suzy, thanks so much for getting in touch.
Thank you, Taylor. Bye, Kindel. Thank you so much.
Bye.